Shalom to our dear friends in the United States, and all the people who are connected to the JNF movement. Hi, I'm very happy to speak to you again. It's Eli Adler from Halutza. We should have a good week and good Shabbat. So I wanted to express a few thoughts about the Sedra, about the periods that we are speaking about in the Torah these weeks. And I want to start the vision from the beginning of Sefer Shmot that we started last week, and then say a few words about our Parashat Vaera. So one of the big rabbis that lived about 150 years ago, his name was Hanatziv Mivolozhin, Rabbi Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin from Volozhin. Volozhin was in Russia. There was a big famous yeshiva, the Volozhin yeshiva, in Russia. And the Natziv, he was the Rosh Yeshiva, he was the head of the yeshiva. And he has a book written about the Torah, about the Chumash, which is called He'emek Davar. And when he starts each Sefer, he writes like an introduction to the Sefer, which refers usually to the name of the book. And we know our book that we started last week is called Sefer Shmot. We have Bereshit, Shmot, Vayikra, Bamidbar, Dvarim. But one interesting fact is that he brings from different areas in Jewish studies that these books had also different names. Let's say Sefer Shmot, the Ramban called it Sefer Agula, the Book of Redemption. And there are other names. We know, let's say in Sefer Bereshit, he quotes that the name of Sefer Bereshit is also called Sefer Hayashar. So he brings one of the big rabbis from later, from years before, that his name is Baal Halachot Gdolot, that he gave names to the different books of the Torah. And he called the books like this: Sefer Bereshit, and then the second Chumash is called Sefer Sheni, the second book. And after that he says the third book is called Torat Kohanim, the fourth book is called Chumash HaPkudim, which is Bamidbar, and the last book is called Mishneh Torah, which is Dvarim. So for some interesting reason, the second book didn't get a name. But he only gave it, the number of the book. What is the number of the book? Sefer Sheni, the second book. So he really asks why. But he didn't find a good name for Sefer Shmot. Sefer Shmot has such big ideas and central ideas which generalize all the book. We couldn't find a good name for Sefer Shmot. Why did he call all the books he found a nice name, a good name, which represents the subject of the book? And only Sefer Shmot, he decided to call it the second book. So here the Natziv, Rabbi Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin, gives us a very deep view, a very new sight, how to look and how to understand what is happening in Sefer Shmot. And he says a very, very interesting idea. He says that the fact that Sefer Shmot is called the second book is because Sefer Shmot is chapter B of the creation of the world. Like chapter B. He says when you call Sefer Shmot the second book, you are giving a very deep idea. You're not only saying that it's the second book in the 5 books in your book cupboard. It's a deeper idea. To call Sefer Shmot Sefer Sheni is like saying that what we are reading in this book, to understand it deeply, this book is a story. It's like a second chapter of Briat Olam, of Sefer Bereshit, where it's not only a historical story, but it's something which God is involved. Yetziat Mitzrayim is not only an exodus of our people, let my people go, leaving Egypt. But it is more true to call what is happening in Sefer Shmot a creation of Am Yisrael. The creation of our history. Yetziat Mitzrayim is not only taking a few million people and letting them out of jail, but it's more a process of God creating an historical nation, a nation which has a goal which is given to them from God. That's why Sefer Shmot is not only dealing with the past of leaving Egypt, but it's dealing with our future. Sefer Shmot created our future. It didn't only create the fact we left the slavery in Egypt, but all the future of the Jewish people. All our goals, all our dreams, all our ability to become during history what we should become was already planted in whatever happened in this period of Sefer Shmot, which is the second chapter and the continuation of the creation of the world. Because the Jewish people have a goal, has a big positive goal, which has to do with all history, with all the people in the world, with all the humanity. And this is something which really comes out and appears slowly, step by step, in many, many, many generations throughout all our history. And the special connection between Judaism and Jewish life and the Israeli people and all the humanity. How, as Hashem told Avraham Avinu, "Ve'escha legoy gadol," I want to fulfill the dream of bringing you out to be as a big people, as a big nation. But what is the goal of this nation? Not only to be yourself. Ve'escha legoy gadol, ve'nivrechu becha kol mishpachot ha'adama u'vezarecha. Your nation is supposed to bring blessing for all people, for all nationalities, for all the people in the world. You have a wide human goal, not only a goal for yourself. And this is why the portions of Sefer Shmot are not speaking only of the past, of leaving Egypt, but also leading us to our future goal and how we can start to accomplish it. So therefore, in our Parsha, now I'm going back to Parashat Vaera. In the beginning, we have different expressions that come from Moshe, which speak about what is becoming built here. What are we building here? What is the goal of what is happening here in Mitzrayim? What is created here? So therefore, he says, "Vehotzeti, vehitzalti, vega'alti, velakachti." I am taking you out of Egypt. I am taking you to be part of me. You are the people of Hashem. But you have a big goal. To being a people of Hashem is not only a private story. It's not only a private family story. But it has something to do with the world I created. All people, all nationalities, all people who live in the world, all human beings. Therefore, your history has a continuation. And when you left Mitzrayim, you didn't fulfill that is not the end of our dream. It's only the beginning. We have a big future. And our nation is created to bring bliss and light and spirit and morality and changing the world and making the world a better world. It is not simple. We go through, therefore, right after that, the Torah tells us, "Ve'eveti etchem el haaretz." Leaving Egypt means also coming to Eretz Israel and trying to fulfill this goal of blessing to all the world through our life in Eretz Israel. We are not coming to Eretz Israel just to build our private life. The Jewish people coming back to Eretz Israel are there for bringing blessing to all the world, to all human beings. And as we see through in the generations, we see today, it's not so easy, it's not so simple to fulfill this goal. We still have a lot of work to do. We still have to have a lot of patience, a lot of long-term vision, how we can turn our people, our nation, our state to be in the right position, how much we need education, how much we have to turn our national life to be a better place, I would say a moral place with justice and kindness and gentleness and goodness, and to turn more and more to be a sociality which brings light and justice and good, not only to ourselves, to all the world. That's the true reason why we want to live in Israel, why we want to be in the state of Israel, for this future dream. So even though we see it's difficult, it's taking time, but as Jewish history is long, from Yetziat Mitzrayim till this day, we have a lot of patience. The Jewish people have patience. If you wouldn't have patience, you wouldn't get to where we are today. We have patience of thousands of years of history. And we need this patience today too. The truth is not only in what is happening in the politics of yesterday and 2 days ago. Because our knowledge as Jews is a knowledge of generations, of hundreds and thousands of historical years. That as people, as coming from Yetziat Mitzrayim to our days today, this is the vision that the Torah teaches us that we have to carry. This is the big present that we get from Moshe Rabbeinu in our portions in Parashat Shmot, in Parashat Vaera, and all through all Sefer Shmot, to upgrade our thoughts and our feelings and our goals in our life. We cannot only live a politic life, but we have to live a spiritual and a moral life, and an education life. How we really can build our families, our union, our united people, our state, to be a better place. To be a better place for us, for the people, with justice and goodness and kindness, for us and for all the world, Be'ezat Hashem. So we should all have a good Shabbat and good news from here, and you, health and good news. Shabbat Shalom.